Explain. Say.
You gotta be cool to be kind in the right measure. Cool to be kind, it's the very design. Cool to be kind means that I love you, baby. Gotta be cool to be kind.
Hey, alright, welcome back to Operation End Times. This is part 3 of building the Ark. Just for reference, it's February 27th, 2014, out here in San Jose, California. We're getting a lot of rain for the next, 4 or 5 days. That was Nick Lowe. You gotta be cruel to be kind. A really cool hit back then. You know, it rocks even today. But, cruel to be kind. That's like a statement where when you ponder it and look at the reflections of it, there's truth and there's shadow. Because... cruel to be kind. I'll tell you, God, actually has to be cruel to be kind. And, if you're a parent, if you have a kid, you will know some of the fullness of that. Because even with kids, sometimes they're doing stuff where you got to be cruel. Punish them, and, heaven forbid, even give them a little spanking on the butt. I'm not really into hitting kids, but, sometimes you get pushed right up to that line where you got to be cruel to be kind. But that being said, you don't want to be a cruel person that gets enjoyment out of cruelty. And, you don't want to be a crueler. That's someone who rules by being cruel. And it's usually the cruelest fool is the crueler, But that's like a pyramid of power, a cedar tree that rises up, a lion, someone who is cruel and they rule. And usually how they view the people underneath them is as worker bees or cattle. And you got to crack the whip. They're the kind of people when you are cruel to rule, you start getting into slavery. All right, hey, what we're looking at, part 3 here is the family tree. We're going to be looking at the family tree, the lineage from Adam on down to Noah. I'm going to be constructing a matrix, that I'm going to use to look at it. I don't have it together yet, so we're not going to look at that in part 3 here. So there's part 4. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to call it bloodlines, But in the family tree, we're going to have to just kind of focus at the top of the tree right now, and I'm not going to have the little matrix for us to look at. I'm going to throw out some things because I'm trying to set the stage, for this journey. So when you climb on board and we head towards a distant shore, you kind of know the framework of the ship, But there's 2 sides to every story, light and dark. But anyway, we're going to go back to the beginning of an age, because we're looking at all these cycles of time where in between the ending of an age and the beginning of an age, there's this transitory thing, this spiritual water, which, hey, in our modern world, people get baptized where they're immersed in water. That's physical water, but, even people getting baptized, they know that spiritually they're supposed to be getting immersed. What's really important is getting immersed in a spiritual fiery water, birth through the Holy Spirit. And it's not the physical water in and of itself that does anything, But anyway, these cycles of time, we're going all the way back, even before Adam and Eve. And, people use the word the fallen or the fall, and it's kind of like on the 3D plane of existence, there was this falling away from God, where people chose to walk away into the land of Nod, to the dry land, to the wilderness, live in the shadow. But I'm not necessarily saying, that you have to agree with the particulars of what I'm going to lay out, because we just got to ponder it and chew it, But I got to set up a framework, The churches do that, And that's what we're going to even talk about, because that's kind of what Cain, was doing when he left for the land of Nod. The land of Nod is building 3-dimensional buildings, churches, whatever, frameworks, triangles, labyrinths in your mind that are shadows and block your yourself from having a full view of God, 2 eyes. You either have 1 eye or no eyes. You're completely blind. But the framework is at the foundations of the earth, when the sons of God were singing in harmony. There were, I believe it's a time when the sons of God were on earth, and it's very spiritual beings, people that are at a higher spiritual level than mankind. But on the 3D plane of existence, even though they were at a higher spiritual level, when they would manifest on the 3D plane, lowering their, say, vibrational levels, they would, for the most part, have the appearance of men. But they would have powers, and a lot of times when people would see them, regular men, they would be fearful, and they would bow down and start worshiping these sons of God, these angels. In Revelations it happens, when the angel shows up, the guy starts bowing down, and the angel says, no, hey, I'm just a brother, don't worship me, But in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, when the 2 angels went into Sodom to warn, to talk to Lot, the people of the city recognized the 2 angels. They were different, and the angels ended up blinding them using some kind of power of light. Same kind of light that was on the road to Damascus that blinded